Hey there, and welcome to NarrativeFlow. My name is Mitch. I'm the creator of NarrativeFlow. In this video, I'm going to be talking to you about how to collaborate in NarrativeFlow with your team, with your friends, and I'm also going to show you how to import a project into a project that you currently have open in NarrativeFlow so that you can merge those two together. The import feature and merging two projects together is actually how collaboration works in NarrativeFlow. A good way to think of it is you as a team, you designate one file as your master project. You would then give copies of that master project to each team member, each collaborator, each person on your team who needs access to that project to make changes to it. And then on a regular schedule, either at the end of the day or at the end of the week, or even just when your collaborators, your team members are done making their individual changes, each of you would then save your project with the changes that you've made, and then you would import all of those changes into the master project. In this video, I'm going to show you what that looks like. So here in my Firefox browser, this is representing your master project. And down here in the Brave browser, that's going to represent a collaborator, a team member. Now, they obviously would not be making their changes on the same computer. They would be on their own computer, on their own NarrativeFlow account. But for the sake of example, rather than me having to use two computers to show you this, I'm just going to do it in one, with Firefox representing the master project and the Brave browser representing a collaborator. So the first thing we're going to do is save our master project. This is our master project, fully up to date. So far, we want to save, and I'm going to just add to the end of this master. And then our collaborator, we would give that master project file, the most up-to-date recent version of the master project. We would give that to a collaborator, whoever needs to work on the project. They would take that file, open it up on their NarrativeFlow, on their computer, and then they would make any changes that they need to make. So we're going to make a couple of changes. We're going to add an experience. We're going to change an existing experience, and then we'll even add either a quick access or a text style or something like that. So the first thing I'm going to do is just create a new experience, and I'm just going to call that, whoops, I can spell. I promise I can spell. I'm just going to call that new experience, create it, open it up, and start node, dialog node, and an end node. Doesn't need to be pretty. We're just doing some examples here. And then I'm going to say new start node. And then in the dialog node here, I'm going to say Evelyn and hello. And then we're going to make a change to an existing one. So I'm going to go into Marine Graves here and go to the beginning of this conversation. I'm going to open this up, and I'm just going to add a greeting here. Very simple change. Obviously, your collaborators would be making much bigger changes if they needed to, but we're just doing an example here. So next, let's go to text styles, and I'm just going to scroll down here to the color area. I'm going to say purple. Whoop. I'm going to say purple. And then for the color, I'm just going to use NarrativeFlow's purple color, and well, the darker purple. And then we have made our changes. Our collaborators made their changes. All we need to do is have them save their changes. So I'm going to say, that these are Astra's changes. So Astra, and then today's date, whatever today is for you. For me today, as you can see, it's August 6th. So this is Astra's changes, 2025, August 6th, right? She would save those changes, and then we would merge them into the master project. So just switch back to what we're representing as the master project. I click import, and there's some very important information here. Specifically, please back up your projects before importing anything. I've done my very best to make sure that there are no problems. Like any software though, just in case something were to go wrong, thank you for backing up your projects. So all you need to do is click select project and select the file that you want to import. This is our file from Astra, who made the changes. We click open, and then NarrativeFlow is going to show us all of the new items. and all of the items that conflict with existing items if there are any. So in this case, we just have 3 items. We have a new experience, a conflicting experience. So the experience that we made changes to that conflict with an experience that we already have. And then we have a new text style. I'm not going to go over all the new item types or conflicting items that can show in this import modal. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can click a link in the description. It will take you to the documentation page on importing and collaboration, and you'll see all the different item types that can be imported or conflict with existing items, and a little bit of information for each. So in the case of new items, here we have new experience, new text style. We can either choose to skip that or import it, and you have these convenient little buttons here to apply to all. So if I had 5 new text styles, I could click these buttons and it would apply the option to all of them rather than having to click them individually. And then for some conflicts, in this case, we have a conflicting experience with our existing experience in the master project. For some conflicts, you can choose to keep both. Not all of them you can choose to keep both. Many, if not most, have just original and imported. That's simply because some conflicts, if you were to keep both, you would have duplicate entries, and that can cause problems in your game engine or working on your project in NarrativeFlow. In this case, though, we can keep both, and if we do keep both, the imported experience will be renamed to not conflict with the existing one. So it would say questioning marine graves, and then import on the end would be added to the end of that name. If we choose imported, then the imported experience would simply overwrite our existing experience. And that's the option that I'm going to choose. So I'm going to import our new experience. I'm going to replace our existing experience with the one that we made changes to, and I'm going to import our purple color. So once we've made all of our choices and we've looked over them carefully, double, triple checked them to make sure that we're not going to overwrite information that we don't want to overwrite, then we click import. And pretty instantly, our data is imported. We can open up our new experience here. We see the changes, or rather the nodes that we created. Then if we go look at marine graves, we can see our little greeting here that we added to the front of this dialogue. And then if we go into text styles, scroll down to colors, we'll see our purple color is properly added. So that's how you collaborate on projects. I obviously just showed you an example with your master project and one collaborator. You can collaborate with as many people as you want. You would just give a copy of the master project to every collaborator. They would make their changes and you would import them as their changes are made or on a regular schedule. Next, I'm going to show you how to import nodes and import experiences. In order to show you how to import those, I need to show you how to export those. So I'm going to open up new experience here, and all you need to do is select the nodes that you want to export. It doesn't have to be more than one. You can just export one node. I would guess most of the time, though, you'd want to export a group of them to reuse that group of nodes, that design that you have. So you select your nodes, right click on a node, or click one of the 3 dots on one of them. Then you click export selected nodes and hit save. And then I'm just going to move over here a little bit. I'm going to click import nodes, select that, and ta-da, we've got the nodes that we just imported. Now for experiences, so right click on whatever experience you want to export, click export experience, and then just hit save. And then when you're ready to import, you either right click in a blank area here, or you can right click on your project root, or you can right click on a folder. If you right click in the blank area or on the project root, it'll just import it into the root, the same level that these experiences here are on. If you right click and click import experience on a folder though, your imported experience will go within the folder. I'm just going to do it on the root down here, import experience, select that one. We can see that it imported. We can also see that because we had an existing experience named questioning marine graves, it tacked on imported onto the end so that there wasn't a name conflict. So yeah, that's how you collaborate in NarrativeFlow with your team members, however many you want, with your friends, whoever you want to collaborate with. Maybe on game jams, you all collaborate together and make some narrative real quick. That's also how you import projects. I showed you that, and then export and import nodes and experiences. Thank you so much for watching. I cannot wait to see what you create with NarrativeFlow and how you collaborate with your team and with your friends. And if you are working on a project and you are collaborating on a project, please let me know. Send me an email. I would love to hear about it and celebrate your milestones with you. Thanks so much again. You have a wonderful day.